Hey everyone, and welcome back to Joey's Retro Newscast, where I go over the top news of the last week in retro handhelds, retro gaming, and just gaming in general. We have so much news to talk about this week, so no preamble, let's go. Lime 3DS is now on the Google Play Store. And for those of you that don't know what Lime 3DS is, it's Citra, the 3DS emulator that's being continued by another team. It's awesome that this is making a comeback, and it's easily accessible for all Android users now. Sudachi, the Nintendo Switch emulator, and maybe the only one left of any actual reputation, is ending development soon. Once again, a developer is actually pointing to the awful community that surrounds Switch emulation as a reason that this is going to be the last one. So they're going to be doing one last version, and that is it for them. Dark times still for Switch emulation. Jumping over into device news now, and in case you missed it, I did a first impressions video on the Tecno Pocket Go this week. This is actually a PC and a controller with AR glasses. It is super cool. Their Kickstarter launched, and the pricing is $869 US, not $1,699 US like I said in my video. So what actually happened was I had asked them before the video came out to tell me a price, so I could put it in the actual video, because I don't do videos without pricing. And they came back and said it would be $1,699 MSRP US. I'm like, okay, and that's very high, but I'll put it in the video and we'll go from there. And then afterwards, the video came out and they're like, oh, by the way, it's actually $869. And I'm like, you couldn't just tell me that? So that is what happened. That is the mix-up. I apologize to anybody who watched that video, got scared by the price. I think $869 for a PC and AR glasses is extremely reasonable. So it's a whole different ballgame now. Looks like they have a whole bunch of backers on Kickstarter and it's doing extremely well, so I'm happy for them. If you're interested, I'll have my review out at some point in the next week and a half or so. We'll see. The Odin 2 Portal is coming. And if I sound off this video, I don't know what's going on. I think I might be a little bit sick or coming down with something, so I do apologize for that. It has a 7-inch screen, 120 Hz, and it is OLED. Those are mouth-watering specs right there. It also has a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor, which is the exact same that is in the Odin 2 Mini and the Odin 2. So don't ask me how this performs, because you have plenty to research. We have that information. But it does everything. That's all you need to know. It does everything on Android. Just you're good. They are adjusting the sticks for more range of motion over the previous Odin 2 models. And they're also making 2 extra stick covers that make it longer, and it has different textures too. The button layout will be Xbox style by default, and they showed 2 colors, black and then silver. And then they gutted the silver, and all because boring people on the Discord said that they wanted it different. But that looks so nice in the first time. And then, this morning, thanks AYN for making me edit this newscast late, they released 3 new pictures, and this is the final versions of the Odin 2 Portal. So we have a black, we have a white, and we have a purple, and that purple looks so good. So really happy with that. Hoping that we get some fun colors for sticks and buttons and all that so I can customize the purple, but I'd say that one looks the best. And then they released a final image of a CNC sample of the black one, of what it looks like. So you can get a good idea of what the actual device looks like and sort of give an idea of that. But the colors themselves look really nice. I'm so sad that they did all these fun colors for this, but not the Odin 2 Mini, which really could have used some fun colors. It's very sad, but oh well. The Indiegogo campaign is supposed to start next week, according to AYN. Honestly, I have a big feeling that because they're still considering colors and buttons and all of that, that this likely won't launch until December at the earliest. I would probably bet on January, but if you want to put a guess at December, then we'll December. Okay, so let's talk about this. This isn't a Joey handheld, in the same way that the iNeo Pocket Evo isn't a Joey handheld. It's bigger than I need an Android handheld to be, and with how Retro Achievements is right now on Android, where GameCube and PS2 just don't have them, I don't do Android for them. So I use my ROG Ally X for GameCube and PS2 and all that sort of thing, and so Android for me only goes up to PSP, and then that's it. That's all I need it for. But that doesn't mean that others don't have a need for Android and for powerful Androids and bigger Androids, and I think this is going to be for them. There just isn't any good x86 120 Hz OLED devices out there. There just isn't, and especially at 1080p resolution. You could point to the Steam Deck OLED, but it's 800p and all of that. Either way, there is a specific niche that this is catering to, and there's a lot of people that wanted a bigger Odin 2. And there's also a lot of people that wanted an Odin 2 with OLED. This is a good mashup between all of that to get them exactly what they wanted. And I have a feeling that this won't be that much bigger than an Odin 2. I'm just guessing, but I don't think it will be. AYN is pretty smart here. They don't have to make any changes to the processor. Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 does every single thing that you need it to do on Android right now. They don't need to go further than that. So they came out with the Odin 2 Mini, which is a 5-inch screen. Then they went with the Odin 2, it's a 6-inch screen. Now we have a 7-inch Odin 2 OLED. That's 3 different market segments covered. I would have liked to see them do different form factors because that would have been nice if we would have gotten like a flip, maybe. But this is what they're doing and it's working. People are buying these devices. People are excited for these devices. You can't hate on AYN for doing all of this because it works. Now, the elephant in the room is the Analogue Pocket Evo. And I talked about this in my Analogue Pocket Micro review. And I had no idea that I would become a prophet after a single day. But what I basically said was Analogue takes way too long between announcement and release, and somebody always comes out and eats their lunch. And now it's happened 3 times with AYN specifically that they've done this. And I've seen a lot of people saying they are canceling their Pocket Evo pre-orders. They are moving on from Analogue. They're just tired of it. They don't get a lot of announcements. They don't get a lot of updates, all of that sort of thing, and everything just gets delayed. However, I don't think this is a complete domination in any way, shape, or form. This is actually a really good example of competing devices. The Pocket Evo has a lot of things that it does better over the Odin 2 Portal that we can tell. And the Odin 2 Portal has a lot of things that it will do better over the Analogue. So this is a really good example of 2 competing devices and in a specific niche. So this is a very interesting fight to me. Now, personally, I had canceled my Pocket Evo pre-order a month and a half ago or a month ago, whenever it came out about these speakers and how Analogue still doesn't know how to do speakers. And I was just, at that point, I'm like, I didn't really need the device at anyways. And the speaker positioning was just the push over the edge that I needed to just cancel it. I was actually the second person to pre-order a Pocket Evo. And I'm like, I'll move on. It's tough for me to review Analogue devices if they don't send them because they're too expensive. And I don't make my money back on views or anything else. So I go in the hole for every Analogue device I purchase. And so it doesn't make sense. As much as I do want to review them, because this year actually is the most interesting year for Analogue devices because they actually had ones that I was interested in. The Analogue Evo, the Pocket Micro, and the DMG I'm not interested in, but would have liked to see it. And Pocket S, of course, was one that I was interested in. But it's not financially responsible of me to do so, and it's too difficult. So I move on. But anyways, back to the Odin 2 Portal. I'm very interested to see what pricing this release is at, what other specs it has, and all of that. The Evo launched at $389. That was the super early bird. I don't know if it's still the price, but it was $389 was the pricing there, because that's what I remember paying. So I'm very curious. I don't think the Odin 2 Portal is going to come at $389, but I could very well be wrong about that. Anbernic is releasing a controller, and no, it doesn't have an H700 inside. Thank God. They say that it works with every operating system. It has Bluetooth, 2.4 gigahertz, and wired. It has Hall sticks that aren't cardinal snapping sticks, apparently, Hall triggers, gyroscope, and the usual software stuff that you would expect for a controller. There's some different colors, macro buttons, and it's supposedly comfortable, according to them. So one thing that you guys don't know about being a retro handheld reviewer is I get daily emails from companies wanting me to review their controller. And I mean daily. I get a few every day about different controllers to review. And I always just ignore them because I'm like, all of these controllers look the same and I have zero interest in reviewing a controller. I've done a few on the channel. I get bored every time I do them. It's not fun. I don't find it fun. So this, to me, is just another one of those. I can go on AliExpress, I can go on Amazon, I can go everywhere, and I could find the same exact controller 10 other times from other companies. It just looks like a rebranded one that I've seen a million times already. And I guess if you don't like 8-bit dough for whatever reason and you want a rebranded 8-bit dough, then I guess this is for you. And they say it's going to be cost effective, but I'm not sure how true that's going to be when you take into effect that they cost shipping and all of that. You can get 8-bit doughs for like 30 Canadian. I don't even know what that is in US, like $1. So yeah, if you're interested in this, I don't want to, what is it, yuck your yums or whatever it is, but have fun, I guess. There's nothing here for me. Analogue, the company behind the Analogue Pocket, is making an N64 from scratch that can do 4K, and it is only going to be $250 US. This is supposed to ship in Q1 of 2025. It is still FPGA-based emulation like their previous products, and so accuracy is key here. It's going to be using cartridges only. They were very quick to say that there is no emulation and no open FPGA here, so you can't use your ROMs. Now, the community fully expects that it will be hacked at some point in the future to allow ROMs, but not at launch. But the coolest part about all of this to me is the 8-bit dough controller that's launching with it. We are finally getting a 6-button controller that looks like it's not going to suck, because 8-bit dough is known for good quality at least. Both of these launch on Monday at 8 a.m. PST, I believe. You can check their website for the exact timing, and you're going to have to be very quick to order either of these, I'm assuming. All of Analogue's products sell out in a second, so be very fast. And the 8-bit dough controller is probably going to go very quickly as well, because a lot more people are interested in that, I'm guessing. It's cheaper and all that sort of thing. And you're going to be fighting against me, and I never lose a pre-order battle, so good luck to you. I got them lightning reflexes when it comes to pre-ordering devices. I never miss, so I'm lucky that way. I feel like I'm losing my voice. I don't know if it's going as I'm talking more and more and we're getting longer in this video, so sorry about that. The Anbernic RG CubeXX was announced and is actually in people's hands faster than it usually is. I think I'm firmly off the Anbernic list, finally, or once again, because I didn't even get an email about this one. I didn't get anything about this one. So they put me back on the list for 2 things, and then I'm back off the list again. So it's a fun roller coaster with Anbernic. However, I did review this device, and I hope you liked that video that I made this week, because I definitely 100% had it in my hands, for sure. Look, it was meant to be a satire video, and it was a satire video, and some people took it a little bit too seriously, but there is some seriousness in satire, I guess. I thought it was funny. I laughed. For those unfamiliar, the RG CubeXX is the Anbernic RG Cube, except the D-pad is on the top. The processor is worse, so it's the H700 processor. It's going to be Linux, has a 3800 milliamp hour battery, and I don't remember what else they downgraded. I think that's it. Oh, it has the same cardinal snapping sticks as all the other H700 devices, despite the fact that the RG406V just released with really good sticks. Now, like I said before, I am not going to review this. I'm actually not going to share purchase links for this either. I'm just tired of these devices, and I'm tired of lazy releases, and despite the fact that this is a financial hit to me, I cannot care about this, so I'm moving on. But I do want to clarify something. There's the sentiment online that people are mad about H700 devices because we don't like people having options, as far as there is now 8 H700 devices, so one for every specific alien or person or dog. And so everybody has something to choose from. It is all great. Well, how can you even hate that? And I don't disagree. Options are great for people. That is great. I have no issues with that. My specific and sole issue with the 8 H700 devices is that Anbernic doesn't have unlimited resources. Anbernic has to make decisions about what devices they are going to release, what devices they are going to manufacture, and what devices they are going to create. So when they release 8 of the same device over a year, anybody who doesn't care about that, which is a lot of people, have to ignore Anbernic for an entire year. And anybody who's purchasing those devices are not seeing any actual improvements across devices. Nothing has really improved from the first H700 device to the last H700 device when it comes to their parts and their process and all of that. There is nothing. So that is my point. It takes a year away from them putting actual effort into devices. If they would have released 6 instead of 12 devices in a year, they probably would have put a lot more care into those 6 devices, the same way that they used to in previous Anbernic years. So anyways, I'm not looking to change anybody's mind who's excited for a specific CubeXX. Enjoy your handheld, that is awesome. What I'm trying to give perspective on is that responding with, it is great to have options, and responding with, you don't have to buy all of them, are not good responses because there is not an unlimited amount of resources on Anbernic's end. We are paying for the H700 lineup by not getting better devices. And I don't even have to look past Anbernic to other manufacturers to see examples of this. You could look at Anbernic and their T820 lineup to see that. But if you want to pull in other manufacturers, just look at anybody else. Look at what Retroid's been doing. So yeah, for me, the H700 lineup, it doesn't hit. It makes me think of what we could have gotten if Anbernic cared. Or maybe it's just time for me to move on from Anbernic. Maybe they just don't give what I need anymore. I don't know. We'll see. If my videos have been helping you, consider supporting me on Patreon, or just give this video a like and a sub. You can also come join me on the Discord and yell at me about all of my rants that I do in all of my videos. I'm going to be honest, I haven't followed this news at all, really. So I'm going to assume that you guys know a lot more than I do on this topic, but Game Freak was hacked, and it's a massive hack. There was a lot that is now floating around on the internet from this hack. I've seen some pictures of unreleased Pokemon, some other Pokemon, and some other stories, and there is a whirlwind of things out there. So if you're looking for that, you can go and look at it, but I don't know much about this story, so we're going to move on. The absolute best of Joey news, and Metaphor ReFantasio, the newest Atlas game in the style of Persona, just had the biggest launch ever for them at 60,000 concurrent players on launch and 1 million copies sold in a day. This game is so good. It is that same Persona style, but a very different setting. There's a lot of other differences and things like that, but you could see Persona all over it, and it is so good. I've been trying to get my time with it as much as I can between catching up from vacation and all of that. You know what's funny? Since I've come back from vacation, I haven't gotten a single device or shipment, but as soon as I left, everything came. Why does that happen? Anyways, these guys make awesome video games. This is an awesome video game. You should play it. I appreciate you all for watching, and that's all from me, Montreal.